It's not fair. The French got a Bastille Day, why can't we have one? And get rid of these rotten Tories that happen to be in government. Well, yesterday, we got rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, I've lost count. Well, one in particular, Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary. She says she's resigned, but, she actually got the sack. Well, she said that she will in due course have more to say. And today she's published her resignation letter. Oh dear. Well, this isn't the first time she's been an absolute pain in the arse. I don't even remember when she was the Home Secretary last time under a Liz Truss, who got beaten by her letters.
That is a disgrace.
Oh, is it? Well, Suella Braverman leaked some rather, how to put secretive papers and what have you via a mobile phone. She thought we'd just send it to any old Tom, Dick and Harry, yeah. That's fine, Well, she was nicknamed Leaky Sue as a result. Well, in her resignation letter, the one last time she was sacked as a Home Secretary, well, she pretty much threw down the gauntlet then. At the old embattled Liz Truss, who then had to step down herself because she had this thing called a budget. Yeah, called Trussonomics they called it. Well, now, Suella Braverman has published her resignation letter. We're not going to read it all, don't worry. God's sake, no. It's basically a whole load of waffle. It starts off literally, it starts off, oh, look what we've done, how great I am, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'd like to thank the police, thank the Home Office and all that, and Whitehall and, they're the blob and all that, remember that. But, it's, you're thanking everybody, and it goes on to, so it starts off with this drivel, and then it goes on to the, how to put it, rather scathing resignation letter, obviously aimed at Rishi Sunak, and and it could get very interesting from tomorrow because the courts, goes to court tomorrow regarding Rwanda. The flight on the front cover of the Telegraph going to Rwanda, which was Suella Braverman's dream. She told us all she did. Well. God. She's tearing chunks, she is, out of her former boss, Rishi Sunak. And she calls Rishi Sunak weak and accuses him of failing to deliver, on key policies in regards to the 2019 mandate. And she also accused him of, you never had any intention of keeping your promises, she says. Well, in the beginning of this resignation letter, you can't see it on it because it's a really rubbish image. It's basically saying that you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and it was the reason why I decided to back you. Not to do with the fact that the Tory membership didn't want her to be anywhere. Well, anyway, her fellow Tories didn't provide with any support. They didn't trust her. Remember, this is not the first time, it's the second time this happened to her. She keeps getting rejected. The thing is, though, she seems to be climbing out the old greasy pole, and the more prime ministerial material, if you can call them that, becomes, how to put it, swept under the carpet, washed down the gutter, or something. Anyway, I don't know, dissolved in acid, whatever you might like to put it. Anyway, as each one disappears, that's Rishi Sunak will probably be the next. We have a much smaller pool to choose from, so we could end up with Suella Braverman as the next Prime Minister, because it looks like there's backbenchers are looking to try and manoeuvre Suella Braverman to be the leader of the Tory party. I can't see it happening, but that's kind of their thinking. She's going to get a lot of grief from the backbenchers. He is going to get, Rishi Sunak's going to get a lot of grief from the backbenchers because they're supporting Suella Braverman. And when it comes down to it, if this Rwanda, if it fails tomorrow in the courts, so Rishi Sunak fails again, it could drum up more support for Suella Braverman. 1922 committee, anyone? Letters? Lots of letters? No. Not French letters, no, letters as in the letters. The whatever it is. So, anyway, every line of a resignation letter is like it's an indictment on the man who actually sacked her, Rishi Sunak. In a sense, it's no surprise, is that there's been long been tensions between these two because they disagree. And Braverman's Home Office and Number 10, they're always at loggerheads. They are. Well, see, Suella Braverman's always trying to push things through that are just not legal, and it's just those in the Home Office, they have to say to themselves, well, we can't do this because it's not legal. I tell her. Well, who thought, though, really, that she would go quietly? She's not going to go quietly, is she? She's a thorn in everybody's side, isn't she? Well, the nature of her sacking was rather unusual, though. It was a phone call. Basically, Rishi Sunak called her up on the red phone, said, will you bugger off, please, and go. Toodaloo. Yeah. Well, her words, particularly on immigration, though, may well resonate with some in the right of the party, but also right-wing nut jobs that were maybe they were at the counter protests on Saturday. Maybe that kind of individual. We have in government, like Lee Anderson, for instance, and Gullis. Oh God, yeah. So now the Rwanda ruling, which is tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, could ignite more support. It really could. However, crikey, I think I'd love to be a fly on the wall. Not literally a fly, but a fly on the wall. Or have a bug in there or something, so I can hear what's going on. So the scale of the support for Suella Braverman isn't as great as she seems to think it is. It's not. So Suella Braverman is out, and now David Cameron is in. He's now the Home Secretary, but also he's now a Lord as well, just like David Frost. Fake Lord Frost, the Brexit negotiator. Yeah, they had to make him a Lord, you see, because he wasn't MP to become a minister. So it all could change, though. It'll be funny, with this Rwanda court case tomorrow. So the support could actually increase, and if Number 10 though think that having Suella Braverman inside the tent, yeah, here's a good with that. Inside the tent was a problem. Crikey. What they think? Would they actually honestly think she's going to be outside the tent, kicking in the tent? She's going to be an absolute flippin' nightmare. Now, if you look at the things that she's been saying, oh my God. How are we doing for time? Now, I highlighted a few bits and pieces in. I'm not going to do it all because it's just ridiculous. Our deal was no mere promise over dinner. Let's make it bigger. No mere promise over dinner. To be discarded when convenient and denied when challenged. She's basically accusing them of being weak. And I was clear from day one that if you did not wish to leave the ECHR, the way to securely and swiftly deliver our Rwanda partnership would be to block the ECHR. But, something that Dominic Raab tinkered with, didn't he? He failed. Anyway, had to resign, didn't he? For being a bully. Now, you ignored these arguments. You opted instead for wishful thinking as a comfort blanket. Comfort blanket to avoid having to make hard choices. To be fair, she's probably bang on with that. Depends what those hard choices are. They're not hard choices that most decent people would actually want to abide by anyway. See, the thing about Rishi Sunak, he's an opportunist. He's just doing whatever he can to keep power. That's all he's doing. Now, worse than this, your magical thinking, believing that you can will your way through this without upsetting polite opinion, has meant that you have failed to prepare any sort of credible plan. There is no answers, that's the problem. Now, in the event of defeat, there is no, that's the Rwanda court case, there is no hope of flights this side of an election. And I have received no reply from you. Probably because you're just talking far-right fascist stuff. I can only surmise that this is because you have no appetite for doing what is necessary, and therefore no real intention of fulfilling your pledge to the British people. Yeah, well, you're trying to make out that all the British people want to be a fascist like you. Mm-hmm. Your insistence that the Rule 39, indications that are binding in international law. See, the thing is, all she's interested in is her own little remit, what she wants to achieve. You get rid of ATHR, that we're going to find it extremely difficult to trade around the world. We really are. Where other countries are abiding by the ECHR. It includes things like employment law, your protections. It's not just about migration, no. When you've got a rogue government, they'll do whatever they like when they've got a majority. It ain't going to be for your benefit, is it? So, against the views of the leading lawyers, she says, blah, 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 blah. Now, I have become hoarse. He looks like a flippant horse. Urging you to consider legislation to ban the hate marches. See, this is... She's going on in here about fascism and racism, radicalisation and what have you. And she's being radical. What? It's all in this... What's up? Oh, God. Yeah. So I've been hoarse urging you to consider legislation to ban the hate marches and help stem the rising tide of racism, intimidation. What she's done is, I'm all right, Jack. My family's over. Let's pull up the old drawbridge. Intimidation and terrorism, terrorist glorification, threatening community cohesion, and blah, 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 blah. Now, Britain is at a turning point in our history and faces a threat of radicalisation and extremism in a way not seen for 20 years. She is the radicalisation. That is what she is. I regret to say that your response has been uncertain, weak, and lacking in qualities of leadership that this country needs, rather than fully acknowledge the severity of this threat. Your team disagreed with me for weeks that the law needed changing. What do you want to do? Put a flipping, surround the countries with gun turrets and AI-guided systems to shoot the little boats? Probably is what she wants. Now, so many other issues you sought to put off tough decisions in order to minimise political risk to yourself. In doing so, you have increased the very real risk of these marches present to everyone else. What risks? Very little indeed. Where the risks were coming from was from the far right counter-protests, from Tommy Robinson and people like him, Axley Lennon, whatever his name is, real name is. This is the bit gets me. I may not have always found the right words, but I've always striven to give voice to the quiet majority that supported us in 2019. Oh, invasion, hate marches. Maybe you can think of a few more. Leave it in the comments down below. I've endeavoured to be honest. None of them are honest. She's a Tory. She's not honest. And true to the people who put us in this privileged position. So there you go. Suella Braverman and her resignation letter. Oh my giddy aunt. This woman is just foul. What say you? Please let us know in the comments down below. And please beat the old like button because it helps the channel, and I need all the help I can get. If you want to support the channel, go on Patreon and buy us coffee, and links down below. But if you don't know already, we are doing a rewilding project here in France where we're planting trees and trying to provide habitats for the little animals, the birds and the bees and what have you. And bats, so making little bird roost and bat roost, etc., etc. And if you're part of that, there's a GoFundMe link in the actual description where basically you can, well, buy a tree, because we're planting trees, 1,000 trees on 2 hectares of land. And, you know, basically you can make a contribution and we will plant a tree on your behalf, and I will make a sign to go with that tree with your name on, or maybe in memory of a loved one, pet, or whatever. Anyway, it's time for me to go, so I'll say toodaloo. Oh, crikey. I did a video about, what's it, Therese Kofi? She's gone as well now, isn't she? No, better not. No, I'll get a strike. Toodaloo.